peace, power, and positive energy that I want to send out to each and every last one of you guys who tuned in for today's video. How's it going, everybody? I'm back again. Today's a very beautiful day. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but the leaves on the trees were rustling and all that. The wind's blowing. It feels really good outside, so I wanted to come out and make a video for y'all today. And I wanted to specifically talk about, as you guys can see from the title, on semen retention after building up such a high streak. And I really don't like to really use that word anymore, but so I'll say it like this instead. After being on retention for such long and good amounts of time, just long extended periods of time, right? Why people tend to start dropping out of your life. Why does that happen? Why do people that you used to hang around with, used to be cool with, start dropping out of your life? And the answer is quite simple, man. When your frequency starts to raise and become so much higher, when you start to vibrate higher, you stop doing a lot of the old habits that you used to do. You start getting rid of those old habits. You start cleaning up your diet and things like that, which don't sound like much, but they all make a very big difference. When you stop doing these things, when you stop clubbing and going to parties, not saying any of you guys do that, but for an example, say if you did all that type of stuff, and then once you stop doing that, you really tend to realize all the mistakes that you were making, and then you really start to understand why your life was always constantly going down the drain. And this is simply because, man, you weren't doing the things that were serving your soul, right? You weren't doing the things that were really making you feel alive. You were doing things that were holding you back, quite literally holding you back. Your life wasn't elevating. You weren't getting things done. You were always attracting the wrong negative people. But since you've been retaining for such long periods of time, once you've exceeded, counting your days anymore, and you really start to understand what you have inside you is valuable, it's really gonna make you realize how much your life is truly worth living, how much you can truly accomplish and get done now that your vibration is rising, your frequency is rising. It's just making you become a better person. And even with all that being said and done, at the end of the day, unfortunately, the people you used to hang around, the people that used to be in your life are going to start just exiting your life, But even with that being said, you do have to keep in mind that even when the old people in your life are now gone, exiting your life, right? Now, you're much more beautiful, artistic, and divine ore that you've now cultivated, right, is gonna end up attracting the right people into your life. The same like-minded individuals in your life. You're gonna start attracting the people who are truly meant for you. And what's going to end up coming with those people are the same stories, the same, just the same kind of stories that they can share with you about how the same thing happened to them, right? They were stuck with old habits that, were holding them back. They were hanging out a lot. They weren't getting things done. They were partying a lot. They were being lazy. They were overindulging, maybe in overeating. Maybe they're heavy drinkers, smokers, and all that. And once they stopped doing that, they started realizing their infinite potential of not just holding on and retaining their life force and all that, right? They're just realizing, they just realized, just like you, just like me, that life is just so much more than what we were taught to believe, right? And the same thing happened with them. Like what they're going to share with you eventually when these people come into your life is that, yeah, the same thing happened with me, for an example. As Say if I like say for me for an example, right? I come into your life and I can share the same thing with you, saying that yeah, man, I had people dropping out of my life like flies, right? I'm not saying people were dropping dead, but people were exiting my life. People were leaving my life who no longer serve me. People who just aren't that people who just aren't on that same wavelength as me. They must have realized this at some point, and so they just stopped coming around me. They just stopped hanging out with me. They stopped calling me, and I was perfectly okay with that, because I know that they were gonna end up serving me no justice at the end of the day. Because with them, it was just gonna be the same old things, the same old things, the same old things. They're not retaining. They're not wanting to try to better themselves in any way. Not just by saying, "Oh, go out and get a job," just the typical stuff, right? But actually realizing who they are, man. Realizing that, just seeing the beauty in life and what holding on to their life essence can do for them. What really trying to become the best version of themselves can do for them, right? And you know, with your vibration rising, man, with your frequency rising, with you just being in tune with this newfound energy, this newfound aura that you've cultivated around yourself, right? It's just gonna kick out a lot of the old versions of you, because you have many old versions than just one, right? There was more than one old version of you, man. I mean, for some people, I don't know, they may have had just one old version, but for me, I had many old versions of myself that I had to get rid of because they weren't serving me anymore. You know, they just weren't serving me anymore. So I realized this, and you know, lo and behold, I even had a couple old friends that I used to hang out with a few years ago, probably like 4 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, who I haven't talked to in in years, guys, in years. But even back then, I wasn't where I am now, like in terms of where my energy's at, how bright and beautiful my aura is now, right? But, as time passed, I started realizing that slowly and slowly, I just started disassociating with all these old people I used to hang out with, man. And now that they're not in my life anymore, I'm realizing that people who were truly meant to be in my life and meant to stick around in my life for a lot longer than what I thought they were, you know, here they are. I have them now, man. They're my very few close, and probably as many fingers as I have on my hands, right? And even with that being said, it's gonna happen, right? Whatever frequency you guys are tuned into, man, that's what you're gonna be tuned into. Your vibration when it starts to rise and rise and rise and all that good stuff. You know, good things are gonna happen for you. Good things are gonna happen to you. You're gonna have endless amounts of opportunities come your way, which I'm gonna make a future video on. I might actually make that later on today, because I'm actually gonna be heading to my friend's house in a little while. But I'm gonna make that video for you guys too, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. Be on the lookout for that soon. But that's just about all I got for you guys. And for why people will just start to drop out of your life, right? When you're like I said multiple times already, I apologize, guys, if I keep repeating myself. I just want to make sure you guys are really hearing what I'm saying. But yeah, everybody, just like I said, when your vibration just starts to rise and rise and rise and rise, and your frequency is set at a certain point, and hopefully it's a good point, then that's just where you're going to be tuned in at. And then some people just aren't going to be in your life for that specific reason. And with that being said, guys, I hope the message I left within this video resonates with each and every last one of you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me today. I really appreciate it. I show my gratitude. Peace, power, and positive energy I want to send to each and every last one of you guys. And just to make it clear, y'all, I really appreciate y'all for, really just giving me y'all's time, because I really do value each and every last one of you guys. And I just want to thank y'all for the support, and peace and much love. Stay tuned for that video, guys. Endless amounts of opportunities coming your way.